Well, let's have a look at some of your figures, and then maybe you can jump in as well, John, and give us some of your predictions. So, auction clearance rates, obviously, we're only a couple of weeks into the market, really.
Yeah, they're not too bad. They're sitting at 74% as an average across the country. But this time last year, they were 70.2%. So, not a great deal of difference. Sydney's performing best at the moment because most of the auctions occur in the suburbs where there's the least amount of stock available, and you would know that. So, they've hit 83.3% this week. So, no surprise. Melbourne followed at 70.9%, but Adelaide was a massive surprise at 69%. So, all of them are steady in clearance rates, but Sydney's the one that's really distorting most of the figures, and again, it's generally certain suburbs that are distorting those figures.
Tom's on holiday at the moment, so maybe that's the distortion.
Oh, okay. He's probably on... No, well, it was better. Sydney's better, so you mean because Tom's not... Oh, okay. I thought you liked Tom.
Now,
Yeah.
everyone wants to know, please tell us there's some more houses coming on the market.
Not enough, not enough. There have been 4 weeks in a row where we've had stock coming on. There was an increase of 1.6% this week over last, and that was an increase over the week before by 5.06%. So there is an increase, and I keep hearing the people saying there's no stock coming. There is stock coming on. There was just a massive amount towards the end of last year, which declined rapidly with the sales that were occurring, and is starting to climb back up again. So all the figures are there indicating that, but the areas with least supply are the ones getting the most publicity. Chris, that's the problem.
And I'll get John to jump in quick. I mean, obviously, we've got the graph up there, John. Is this one of the things that's always going to drive house prices in the future, is the lack of stock?
Stock either being new or stock not coming onto the market for sale. And so when you look at the stock for the old stock, it's all about consumer sentiment. If the consumer is unsure about the future, they're not going to go and sell their home and go and borrow more money.
That's right.
And so the stock ultimately drives the market, or it's the indicator of actually, how, in a way, how the population is feeling. The other thing that's important that we sometimes miss is that, in fact, in Sydney or in New South Wales at the moment, the population, actually, the number of immigrants that are coming to the state are actually falling. And that's a little bit of a concern to me. I mean, yeah, that will hold back, particularly if the volume of new stock
Obviously
is
didn't vote
increased.
for Pauline Hanson, did he?
OK. Well, we better jump to the rent price movements.
Well, that rent price movement's pretty good again in some areas, though. Two capital cities had growth. Tasmania had a plus 0.63% over this time last week, and Melbourne actually had a plus 0.21%, but the other capital cities had a decline. And Perth is one that's in the most danger zone right now, so it's had a negative 0.95% decrease in rent over this time last week, and Sydney a 0.58% decline. So overall, across those three capital cities, it was a 0.48%. But for the year to date, which is the interesting chart, because I'm keeping those two now side by side, there's been a decline of 0.96% from rents since the start of the year to now, and mostly driven by Perth. So I think that Perth is a problem area, and continuing to be a problem area when you get to the vacancy figures as well.
OK, well, jump to those now.
Yeah, look, again, Sydney is the best performer at 1.71% vacancy. Melbourne sitting at 3.94%, and it's been bothering me because it's been catching up to the fours and slightly over and coming back. But wonderful city of Perth, 6.58% vacancy rate, so it's giving us a total of 4.08% for those three capital cities. But again, when I talk to my guys in Perth and they tell me the rents are really starting to drop and the vacancy rates are starting to climb, it's getting very difficult in some of those areas.
We've got about 30 seconds, John. Your final tip for investors out there?
I think that the one thing that everybody has to do in investing is two things. Plenty of research, and number three, make sure that you are in control of your own destiny. Don't over-leverage.
Sounds good.
Great. Cheerio to my daughter and Doug tonight, and my son who didn't invite me to his party.
So, John, many thanks for joining us. You're always welcome back on the show. If we have nightmares in the property market, come back and tell us your thoughts. Charles, good to see you too.
See you too,
All the
Chris.
best. Thanks for joining us this evening. We'll be back again next week. Until then, I'm Chris Gray. Good night.